Hi, so this is a introduction and review of Arbisource. Several people have told me about it. I haven't seen it before. I've literally just started the free trial and I'm just going to walk you through the interface as I discover it for myself. So I've literally just signed up and put my login details in, and this is the screen that I've been presented with. So obviously two options, we don't really know what they are yet. The vault, I'm guessing, is some existing deals or scans, and start a new scan, obviously I'm imagining, will take us to a screen that will let us select some type of scan system. So we'll click on the vault, see what's in there. So we've got an option between stores and Amazon categories. So all the common stores here, looks like a pretty good selection. Costco is one of those ones I do buy from, but I don't really have a good system in place right now for finding things to go looking for. I tend to just go there and have a scan round. Sometimes I order online, but I don't really have a process for that, so that one might be useful. Disney store, there's almost always something going at Disney store. Yeah, Flirtations, Fragrance Direct, all the common ones, Game, Home Bargains, IKEA. Okay, so it looks pretty good so far. Actually, scroll down, Sainsbury's, Savers, Temptation, Tesco's, The Works. The Works is another one actually. I've bought stuff in the past that's been decent, but I don't really have a good sense of if today what I would go buy there. So that might be a good one as well. So let's have a click on The Works, see what comes up. Okay, so typical sort of layout. If you're new to this type of thing, this might seem a bit overwhelming. It looks pretty straightforward. So the standard info, in your face, profit, ROI, BSR. So something like this. If I saw something with a BSR of 2.7 million, I wouldn't even look at it. And you can see from the keeper chart, not even seeing a sale on there. So that's not something I would particularly be interested in. At first glance, the images look like they match, so there's a fair chance that it's the same product. £7 at The Works, £81 plus delivery on Amazon. The images are slightly different. That one has some sort of logo in the bottom, that one has it but smaller. Might not be the same product. I'm guessing you can click on the links and go find out. So that's for the store, so that will take us to The Works, £7, and the other one's for Amazon. I'm not going to waste time clicking on those because it's not interesting at all to me, that one. Cashback, that's interesting. What does that do? Lets us know that these 3 cashback sites can apply to buying from this vendor. That's interesting. I use all 3 of those. So yeah, I do sometimes forget. It's a bit annoying when you go and make a few £100 purchase and then remember afterwards that you could have done a cashback link and got something back for that. I tend to use my Capital on Tap card for most purchases because most vendors take it, especially some retailers won't take American Express, like B&M for example. So I tend to use Capital on Tap, and then a lot of common places like Argos and Boots, you actually get airtime rewards for spending on that card as well with those vendors. So if you used Top Cashback, which is my main one, Complete Savings, I've used a lot in the past but not so much, then you can sort of double up on these things. So I'm not sure about The Works, whether you get airtime rewards for that, but yeah, it's handy that this product has which cashback sites apply to purchasing, so that's useful, good to know. Custom buttons, we'll have to investigate what that is. So this is normal information, keeper info, pictures, you can tell right away if they're completely different. It's probably not the same product, and therefore the price comparison isn't right. The ASIN, the category restrictions not checked. I'm guessing that is it hooks into the Amazon API, so it can probably tell whether you're gated or not. This obviously was the vault, so it's a pre-scanned result, so it's not actually relating to me doing a search and connecting to my account. The dimensions, that's handy to know. IP status, right, that's good. Amazon have not provided a brand name for this product. So one of the things I've found with this type of software in the past is that it generally has no clue about whether or not a product that it's found has IP issues. I'm guessing that this IP status being green is saying that they're not aware of a problem, and the commentary on the hover over says Amazon have not provided a brand name for this product. Don't know exactly what that means. This one, there are no known IP issues with this brand. Matagot, I don't know if that's the actual brand or whether that's just the name of the person with the listing, but yeah, they're open to you telling them if you've had problems. So that's right off the bat, that's a really good thing for me to see, because it is one of the weaknesses with some of the other tools that are around, where there are several common issues that I have with this type of software that I'm basically looking out for now. One is the quality of the results. Quite often you get a lot of mismatches with this type of software because it's going off doing scans, and whatever the coding is behind it is not always great at filtering out the quality of the results. In this case, like I say, there's a slight difference between the images. I'm guessing somewhere there will be some type of metric that tells you how confident they are that these are the same. So I'll be interested to find exactly what that is. What's this? No buy box. Okay, yeah. Other Amazon results, add to sourcing list. Okay, so you can export this to a list of stuff you want to purchase. So you can just, I'm guessing, scan through them, add them to a sourcing list, and then go check your list once you've done the scans. So it looks good so far. Yep, you can report feedback, report mismatches, you can report IP issues. It's got the standard information, the products, the source product, the Amazon product, the keeper data, some high-level stats. Again, depending on your situation, you may or may not be having to factor VAT into this, so I'm guessing, or assuming, hoping that somewhere there will be an option where you can say if you're VAT registered or not, so that influences what you see here. But yeah, first impressions so far, very good. The IP status bit, I'm particularly pleased to see. The cashback button to let you know there's cashback is nice because it's easy to forget, as I've done many times. And then the quality of the results, we'll have a look and see if those are good, because that's one of the areas where these softwares generally tend to fall over. Either they're bringing back something that looks the same but actually isn't. Sometimes it'll source one that's a single, but then the Amazon listing is for a multi-pack, and you can't necessarily tell that in the images. So you have to take what you see in these things with a bit of a pinch of salt, and double check it yourself. But at first glance, looks good. Like I say, when I look at these things, if the keeper chart isn't bouncing along nicely, I'm generally not that interested. Obviously this isn't even a search that I've done, so I haven't put any of my preferences in. This is just first glance when I came to the vault what I saw. And you can see here you've got sliders, so you can set the profit level, the ROI level, how many competing sellers you want to be up against, how many 30-day BSR drops. Again, that's just a way for you to say if something doesn't sell quite a lot, then I'm not interested. That's good, it's all useful stuff. Here we are, match confidence. So 70 to 100%. Again, this is really one of the areas that is most valuable to me, because I don't want to waste my time with mismatches or have to go digging through confirming everything before I can be confident about it. So I would normally crank that up a bit. I don't know this software, so I don't know really what is a good level to set this at to remove the common types of problem. So I'll set it a little bit higher and then figure it out later. So the next one, again, looks like the same product. BSR's nearly 600,000, so again I wouldn't be interested, and it hasn't sold recently, so I'd rule that out right away. Next one, yep, looks like the same product at first glance. ROI 258%. That normally sets off an alarm bell for me. Either it's not selling or it's not the same product. In this case, the BSR's 449,000, so probably it's not selling much. So it depends. Everyone's got their own preferences with this stuff, how often you want to see something. Some diaries. I've done these in the past, but I've had issues with the listings not selling despite the information I saw, so I tend to stay away from things like that. There's limited history. It might be a new listing, or it might just not be getting the data from Keeper for some reason. So I would avoid that. 90-day BSR drops 1, so looks like it's not selling much anyway, but you need to check into it. Next one, ROI 35%. Looks the same. Helium canister might be a dodgy one for shipping. Might come under hazmat or need some special shipping. So again, I'm not seeing any sales, so I would ignore it. Same here, same here. So the picture matching looks good. I don't know what the good quality of this is. I need to see a few more and check some. But yeah, in general, first page looks good. Here we go. This one's a bit better, a bit more activity. Was nice and low. I guess that might drop again soon because we've got a lot of heat coming. So these desk fans are going to be very much in demand, I imagine. 7 hours ago it was in stock from the works, selling for 45. Yeah, if that's legit. ROI 17%. That seems weird for a 20 quid price difference. Yeah, I guess 20% is a £5 and it's £4. So yeah, depends whether it fits in your buying strategy or not. If I spend 25 quid, I want to be making at least a £5. But again, if it sells really fast, you can see 51 drops. Average profit over 90 days minus £15. So not good. Basically because it normally sells at 21 quid, and if you're buying it for 25, once Amazon's on the listing, you're not going to make any money. So it might be a good one when demand's high and Amazon aren't on the listing. Even then the buy box was only 19 quid. So again, looks okay, but I would avoid it just because of that. But I'm sure some people are making sales and making profit on it. I'd avoid it. Right, I won't go through all these. I'm not really seeing many on the Vault that would interest me. 10% ROI, that's not really in my wheelhouse. Let's just have a quick use of those filters and crank the ROI up a bit, say 30% and above. I don't know whether you need to refresh this. I click filter results, I guess. Right, so yeah, these high ROI ones just are not selling, so not interesting. Okay, Mary Berry, 62%, couple of thousand BSR. It's okay, although again, it only sells for 6 quid when Amazon's on the listing. So while they're off the listing, it looks good. So let's check 30 days. Yeah, so if you had this in the last 15 days or so, then you can easily make a decent profit on it. How often Amazon are on the listing? Yeah, they're on it a lot. So it's only really the last couple of weeks that you've been able to make any money on this. So again, I would probably would chance it and buy a few now that Amazon have finally dropped off the listing, but you have to be aware that they could drop back on it and you lose money. So with this sort of thing, I would probably get some of these, but not a lot, because I just want to see if Amazon are going to come back on. But that's an interesting one. So yeah, already there's a potential buy there. Again, not much going on with these others, not very interesting. That one looks like it might be okay. Again, Amazon were on it and they're off, but it's not selling much. Okay, so yeah, so the Vault looks okay. Again, I'm not really seeing a whole bunch of amazing opportunities, but I like the interface. It's a little bit busy, but again, I guess there's always a dilemma of the interface being busy and giving people a lot of options, because there are a lot of things you can tick here as well as all the different sliders. So first impressions, good so far. So if we go back to the dashboard and let's see what happens when you click scan. There aren't any scans, none completed. So we've got store scan, category scan, wholesale scan, custom scan, reverse search. So let's do a store scan. Okay, so the stores are on the left. Let's give it Asda. And what do we want to buy at Asda? So we got clearance and non-clearance, that's good. So where would I normally look in Asda? Home and entertainment, health and beauty, laundry, pet accessories, fruit and veg. I tend to stay away from food, although I do sometimes buy things if they're good, but a lot of the food listings I've done in the past tend to get price tanked, and so I tend to avoid them. Wine and spirits and beer, there are quite often a lot of good deals there because you have to get a license to be able to sell those, and a lot of people don't bother. So that's, if you're looking for a nice little area where there's some good potential, that might be one, if you're willing to jump through those hurdles. So let's click on home and entertainment and see what it does. This is just clearance stuff. So how do we get it started? Start scan. Okay, right, I'm guessing that will happen in the background. I don't know what sort of time it'll take. Again, some of these systems you might have to leave it 24 hours, come back tomorrow and see what it brought back. So I won't sit here waiting for it. Let's try a category scan. So Amazon categories, so I'm guessing this will go and try and return items in the section that you've selected from any vendor. So that could be massive. Maybe it'll let you select down a little. Let's try DIY and tools and see what happens. Is that it? We just click start scan. Yeah, that one could take a while. It's quite a big category, and if it's going to do that for every store in the database, that definitely could take a while. Wholesale scan, I'm guessing, yeah, so you just grab a file from your wholesaler and dump that in there and it will do something. I'll do a separate video of that afterwards rather than go and pull out a random wholesale list now, just for the sake of it. The other thing I've wondered about this particular area of these tools is it's set up to scan a wholesale list and see where you could make some money selling the products that that wholesaler has for sale on Amazon. But one thing I wondered about doing, I haven't tried it actually, it just came to mind when I loaded up this software, it reminded me, is I sometimes forget what stuff in my previous purchase list I should be buying again, which things I should be replenishing. So I'm wondering if I can export from Seller Toolkit my inventory and dump that into here like it was a wholesale list and see where it thinks I should be buying all that stuff that I sold before. That might be an interesting exercise to do. I'll do a separate video on that if it looks like it's viable. So let's get back out of there. Custom scan. Just a button. Okay. Load store image, store name. Okay, right, this is interesting. So XPath URL, XPath URL. Okay, so this is a bit more techy, and it looks like it's giving you the option to scan stores which are on its database, but you might want a specialized subsection done, or maybe stores that aren't on the database but have an interface that this can read. I guess as long as the pages are using standard HTML, then you can get these links and plug something in. So that's an area to have a good look at. Probably warrants a separate video in its own right, and do some tests. So I'll have a play with that another time and come back to that. Looks interesting though. I haven't seen that so obviously available on any other tools, so that's interesting to see as well. Reverse search. Okay, that just wants an ASIN, does it? So if we go to that product we saw there, I use SAS to go look for it on Amazon, and then that'll give me the ASIN as well. Slow for some reason. Come on, SAS, you can do it. That's weird, it normally loads right away. I'll click refresh, right, okay. Okay, no, that's not this. Let's have a little search. That was me scanning around things in B&M this morning. Right. Okay, SAS doesn't look like it's doing its thing right now. Okay, forget about that then. I'll just go grab an ASIN from something else. What have we got? Naked gluten-free bar. Right, okay, so you give it an ASIN and it goes off and finds the places in its database where it's scanned it. That was 7 hours ago. That was 7 hours ago. Yeah, not really selling, but yeah, that's handy to know. I wonder what there will be. There's probably certain types of product that will show up in lots of these sources. Let me find something a bit more generic, like coffee. I'm on another screen now that you probably are not seeing. I'll just go find a brand of coffee that we can do a look up on and grab an ASIN for it. So, what's this? Tassimo Kenko Americano. Let's get the ASIN. Let's try this. Okay, that's only found it at EuroOffice. I'm not familiar with that place, but yeah, I wouldn't really want to buy them for 40 quid and sell them for 20, so I'm not sure that's an option. And again, this comes back to what I was saying earlier about the image might be the same, but you can see here this says 16x, so the Amazon listing is for 16 of these. What EuroOffice are selling you can't tell from here, so you'd have to go chase it up. So 5 packs of 16, that's right, so that says 16x, so yeah, it's just a bad deal, but it's correct. That's interesting. Let me just try Tassimo Kenko in general and find something we can hopefully source from multiple places. Right. I'm not thinking this is going to be a good purchase, but just to try and put something in that it might have found in several stores. Nope, didn't find that at all. That's weird. It's a very common product. Yeah, I don't want to waste your time digging around trying to find a brand of coffee that that it's actually easy to find. I'll try one more just to see if it brings up something interesting. Right, there we go. Okay, 2 places again. Both Euro office. So there's obviously some difference there. It's the same price. 239 grams, 280 grams. Yeah. So, okay, well, the result's not great, but the tool is fine. Got the same information. It's not worth buying. It found one place in the database where it's for sale. So, yeah, I'm sure that'll be useful for some things. Again, if there's something you normally buy and you're just looking for other places to buy it, then this might give you some leads for alternative sourcing. So that's, yeah, I like that. It's good. Right, what have we got here? Scan results, no profitable results. Okay, this category scan's doing a bit better, so it reckons it's got over 1,400 profitable results. So let's stop that. I'm assuming you can stop it and then bring up what it's got so far. Yeah, okay, so let's look at the results. Okay, so FFX, not familiar with them. Is that the same product? Looks like it might be. Wera. Okay, yeah, it's a seller. Not much profit over 90 days. Amazon's sometime on the listing, and they are now. Toolstation. Nice bouncy one. Looks like it sells if it's the same product. That looks decent. Again, I'm not seeing the same description, so have to look at that. The next one, the pictures are different. This is 50p, that's £5.79. So fair chance it's different. Yeah, that one's a tester pot. This one doesn't say tester in the title, but it's only 30mm, so it might be the same one. Again, Amazon are sometimes on it, but not right now. So those listings, yeah, these results don't look too bad. Again, I'm mainly looking for mismatches or information that looks correct, but when you have a closer look is not correct, because that's the normal problem with these tools. Yeah, okay, oh, that's a nice high ROI, but it's only a couple of quid. 40mm waste access cap, access plug. Looks like the same thing though. Bag of 2. Right, so the Amazon listing's for a bag of 2. Let's just check the source. That's for 1. Right, so double that would be 242. If we put that in there, what does that do? How do I make it update? That doesn't seem to have updated just by changing the price. How do you update it? I'm not seeing a refresh or something. Custom buttons, no. Maybe is this going to do it? Little recycle sign, no. Now the profit number's gone down, but the buy price has gone back to that 242. Yeah, the numbers are changing here, so it is updating. It's just not updating in the top bit the same as it's updating down here. Okay, well, it is what it is. Looks like that's actually a profitable thing, although the source is for 1 and the Amazon listings for 2. So that's the thing to be careful with these. I'm glad that it's got the IP status check, because that's normally the thing I find a problem with this type of tool. It brings you a great result, but there's something you're not going to sell or you can't sell, and you wouldn't want to sell because of IP problems. But that, yeah, no, it looks pretty good actually. Impressed so far. I like the interface especially. This looks different and restricted. Yeah, I mean those are different colours and the orientation's different and the number on there's different, so again that looks like a mismatch, and that quite clearly in the image you can see it's different. Most of these things, that's a different image. Maybe it's okay. Yeah, that doesn't say the colour, but simply refresh, simply something. Yeah, not sure about those. So yeah, I think in general the matching is fairly good, but I would take it with a pinch of salt and do your own checking. This was a scan that I just set off, so these are new results, not something that was sat there waiting when I logged in, and they came back pretty quickly actually. And yeah, we got loads of them, so at this point you'd want to kick in your sliders. So if I want at least £3 profit, at least 30% or ROI, normally I'd like more really, because sometimes the price gets dropped. BSR 0 to 30%, just bring that down. Number of sellers, don't really care about that so much. 30-day BSR drops, yeah, ideally I want to see half a dozen, just so you know it's selling. Match confidence I'd want high, so let's see what that does. We've got 114 stores in that. Looks like you don't have any results, right? Okay, so yeah, when I put the criteria I normally use, it's not actually going to bring me any results, despite there being 1,400 supposedly profitable ones. So let's just make that a couple of quid. Just see what that does. Yeah, hasn't really changed anything because they were all a couple of quid or more. Okay, match confidence, let's crank that up. I don't really know what 80 to 90% does in their algorithm, so not really sure the impact of that. Didn't seem to really reduce the results much. Okay, oh that's handy, they've got the apply to sell button on this interface as well, so if you're not currently ungated for it, then you don't have to go off to the Amazon interface or another tool to do that. That's handy. I believe they've done or are doing some integration with SellerAmp, so that'll be interesting to see. I think when I logged into SellerAmp this morning and looked at the integrations, this wasn't on the list, so I guess Al is busy doing something in that domain. But yeah, so far I quite like it. It's pretty self-explanatory, all the right information's there. Like I said, my main issue with these normally is the matching, and that it shows you something that looks the same, but the listing on Amazon is for a multi-pack and the source listing isn't. So that's the main area I would look out for. The IP status check, that's really good to see, because that is that's something some of the other platforms like this don't have. So yeah, looks good. I won't go through all of the possible variations of what are possible in this. We've seen the vault, we've seen the scans, we've seen some results. Sourcing list, okay, yeah, we saw in the vault you have to add something to your sourcing list for it to show up there. Also, I'm guessing if you add it to your sourcing list it will stay there, whereas the scans probably expire to clear their database out at some point. So you might, if there's something, even if you don't want to buy it now, you might want to add it to your sourcing list. I'll check out later how easy it is to export things from the sourcing list as well. Replenishables, you haven't added. Okay, so you have to select something as replenishable and then it will come in here. Go to the sourcing list, won't do anything because we don't have one yet. So okay, I'll go to the vault. I'll pick a store, find something we might want to buy. Let's have a look. BSR. Let's find something that's actually selling. See if that brings us some results. Okay, so yeah, lime basil and mandarin. I sold a load of their candles a couple of years ago. Looks like their reed diffusers are there at the moment. Not great ROI, so I wouldn't buy this normally. But let's add it to the sourcing list. And so now, if we go to the sourcing list, we've got that. If we mark it as replenishable, I guess we can now go to the replens bit, and so now it's there. Okay, so it's saying, yeah, we would normally buy it from Aldi. It was checked 5 hours ago. Oh, add to Amazon inventory, that's interesting as well. That's not normally something you find in these tools. If I click that, okay, yeah, it literally is going to take me to Amazon and get me to add it to the inventory. That's useful. Yeah, even if you're using a packing center and you're just ordering this stuff to go to a third party to prep it for you, normally they would want you to add it to your store so that when they go to build the shipping plan for you, they don't need to figure out or have your permissions and access to add it to the inventory. So a lot of prep centers will want you to add the item to your inventory even though they're going to receive it and ship it for you. So that's actually a really cool thing to find here, because you normally will need to go do that. Okay, that's good. Yeah, they've I think the chap's name's Callum that runs this software, so he's obviously, he knows what he's doing and he's thought about this. Waiting for next replenishment scan alert. Okay, so you can get it to check your stock and alert you when your stock's down to a certain level. That's really handy as well. Okay, yeah, this is good. I haven't seen these features on another bit of software like this at all before. Help. Yeah, loads of common questions. I imagine with the, as busy as the interface is on this, he probably gets a lot of questions before people have actually been around it and figured it out. So yeah, I like it. The vault looks pretty good, pretty comprehensive. Let's have a look. Is Smith Toys in here? It doesn't look like there's a search function actually. That might be nice to just type something in the top. I'm guessing they're alphabetical. Sainsbury's, Sports Direct, Savers. Okay, Smith's Toys isn't on here. That's one I would have liked to see. And actually on Arbitrage Hero, Smith Toys is on there, so I know Max Arbitrage Hero did have an issue a while ago with the interface to Smith Toys, but given that it's in there now, I would have expected to see it here. Maybe it's on the roadmap and just not in yet. Yeah, okay, well, first impressions, pretty good. Like I say, I found a couple of areas where I can go and have a play and potentially have some other uses and other ways for this to be more useful, but first impressions are pretty good. So I'd say if you like it and you're into this sort of thing, definitely seems to be a decent tool. And yeah, the standard things apply. Double check the matches, because multi-packs and bundles of multiple product generally are not easy to pick up in scans like this via the APIs, so that would be the main thing I'd look out for. The other thing, yeah, the IP status, I don't know how much data or info's behind that. The fact that people can report a mismatch, and you can email support at Arbisource if you know of issues with that brand. I'm guessing he's going to build out that list. It would be nice if there was a way to see that list, because again, I know with some tools they have a list of all of the brands that they're aware of that may have issues. So if there was a click here to see the list of places we think might have problems, that might be handy. but the fact that they've got it is good, because that showing you something that's got a great profit but that might get you in trouble is not a good thing to have in a tool. And yeah, the matching, finding bundles. In fact, I'll do one more search, because one thing that often niggles me is if I go to a store and I think, what else should I be buying while I'm in here? And even the things I already know I'm going to buy, they sometimes don't show up on these tools. So I'm thinking, well, I'm about to go buy a profitable item that this tool didn't pick up, and I'm sure there are loads of others, so what else should I be buying while I'm in here? So let's just go with boots. Boots electrical, might be some nice toothbrushes or something in there, some hair straighteners or something that are worth buying. I don't know how long the scan's going to take. Starting soon. Okay, that's interesting. So it doesn't just start. I don't know what's going on in the background there. Alright, yeah, I'm not going to sit here and wait for it, because yeah, who knows how long it'll take before it starts. But yeah, well, there you go. There's my first run through. You've just seen it the same as I've seen it for the first time. I may have missed some bits that weren't obvious to me in the interfaces, so I'll continue to have a play with it, and then I'll do a follow-up video doing a wholesale list, maybe doing some jiggery-pokery with an ASIN list on my own, pretending it's a wholesale list and seeing if it thinks I should be making some money on Amazon with those products that I might have forgotten to send back in. And then some custom scan stuff looks like it's going to be worthwhile as well. Oh, here we go, 13 profitable things from boots. Let's stop it and have a quick look. Just see what the quality of the results is. Ah, there we go. Surprise, surprise. Toothbrushes. How did I know? Okay, Philips Sonicare. 21 quid, 55%. That looks decent. £2, 14%. Yeah, I wouldn't bother with that one so much, but that Philips one looks decent. If it's the same, 3100 looks the same. Yeah, okay. Looks pretty good. So hopefully that's giving you a good little overview before you make a decision to do something. I don't know whether they have some way to refer people. I'll check that if there's some sort of referral link, so Callum knows that you came there from my intro. That would be handy. I like to do that just so that people have some sense of where their customers are coming from. Okay, so I'll leave it there for now. That might have been a bit longer than you were expecting. I know it was longer than I was expecting. And there's still more to go and dig out of this to see where the really juicy bits are. But hopefully that's giving you a little overview, showing you the interface, how I might look at it and what I care about. And that should be enough, I guess, for you to tell whether it's going to be useful to you or not. Okay, talk to you next time.